Where is the best country to study and practice law all over the world? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Idi Samuel and I am a law graduate from the University of Nigeria. And in this video, I'm going to be mentioning and explaining 5 countries that are best for studying and practicing law all over the world. So if you're an aspirant or a law student or even a law graduate that is looking at furthering his or her education outside the country, then this video is definitely for you. Here we'll be looking at facts, we'll be talking about job opportunities and, salaries, learning environment in all of these countries. So it's going to be an interesting one. But before we go into that, please make sure you like this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more interesting legal tips like this one. I'll be right back. So first things first, it is quite apparent that studying law in a developing country is quite different from studying and practicing law in a developed country. Now, the reason is basically because some of these developing countries actually adopted their laws, and legal system from the developed ones. So it is reasonable to think that laws or the practice of law, and the learning of law actually differs from countries to countries. And then this goes down to, the salary, and it also goes down to, the working environment, the way the law is studied in these countries. Now, these are the facts that we are going to be putting into play today. So the first country on my list of the best countries to study and practice law all over the world is actually the United States of America. Now, it is quite obvious that the United States of America is one of the most sought countries in the world, for law students. And the reason is basically because it houses some of the best universities in the world. You want to talk about the University of Harvard, you want to talk about the Columbia University, you want to talk about Stanford University, a whole lot of prestigious law schools, are in the United States of America, and this is why more students want to come there, and get certified in these schools. Now, according to my research, there are over 200 plus law schools in the United States of America that actually have their law courses available online for students to go through. And in my country, for example, I have about 5 colleagues that I know that are currently taking courses, of universities in the United States of America. This is to show you how eager students are to just to get certified and improve their prestige, to improve their employability, in the eyes of employers rather. So the point is, going to these schools that are in the United States of America most of the time actually increases your chances of getting employed to employers. Now, coming down to job opportunities and salaries, the United States of America is doing quite well, because the entry salary of a lawyer in the United States of America, the average entry salary of a lawyer is about $55,000. Now that is a whole lot compared to some other countries. Now this goes down to even about $187,000, depending on your level of practice, the law firm you're working with and so on, but then this is actually fair. This is actually on the average, but then it is actually fair compared to a whole lot of countries. So yes, the United States of America is actually one of the best places, you want to study and practice law all over the world. And trust me, you won't even regret it. Okay, now the next country on my list of the best countries to study and practice law all over the world is actually the United Kingdom. Now you see, just like the United States of America, the United Kingdom is also the most sorted, or one of the most sorted, countries for students all over the world. Now, according to my research, this is actually based on the fact that the United Kingdom actually owns English law, and English law is studied or practiced by over 1/3 of the world's population today. Now, this has actually made the United Kingdom the den for international, law, because and students from all over the world actually want to study and and practice it firsthand in the United Kingdom. Now this actually stems from the fact that the United Kingdom colonized most of the developing countries, or I would say African countries today. Now, aside all of these, the United Kingdom actually houses some of the best universities in the world. You want to talk about Oxford University, you want to talk about, Cambridge University, you want to talk about the London University of Economics and Politics. These are very prestigious universities that employers, the employers add so much reputation to, and they just want to employ any students, graduating from these schools. Now, coming down to job job opportunities and salaries, the United Kingdom is also doing fairly well, because like the entry level, according to estimate, actually, the entry level of a lawyer in the United Kingdom is about 40,500 pounds, and I think at some point you even get up to 55,000 pounds entry level, annually. This is quite fair, compared to a whole lot of countries out there. Now, but there is a problem with studying in the United Kingdom, and that is the problem of licensing. Before you can practice law in the United Kingdom, you will have to be licensed, and this will require you to write a lot of, difficult law exams, and you are expected to do excellently well in these examinations, but aside all of these, the United Kingdom is actually one of the best places you will want to practice, law in the world currently. And I think one of the most significant advantage you will have is the fact that, English law, which has its origin from the United Kingdom, is practiced by over 1/3 of the world's population today. The third on our list is actually Australia. Now, in case you do not know, Australia is actually leading the world in terms of legal technology. It houses majority of the legal tech startups we have in the world today. Now, what this means is that Australia is actually leading in terms of AI, in terms of, online contract, data analysis, blockchain, and the rest. So just legal technology as a whole, Australia is really leading in this industry. And that is actually a good thing to think about, because currently the world is actually moving towards AI, AGI and the rest, which I believe is something that lawyers will have to adapt themselves, lawyers will have to learn how to use AI, lawyers will learn how to use automated technologies, in their practice. So it's actually a good thing to think about. But then there is a little problem with studying in Australia. And one of it is the fact that Australia has one of the most difficult bar exams in the world. Now, I have an article on my blog. I'll probably put the link in the description of this video where I mentioned the Australian bar exam as one of the most difficult examinations in the world. I mean, like one of the top 10 most difficult examinations generally in the world, and aside this, it is quite expensive to actually study in Australia, but generally speaking, Australia is actually a good place. It's actually a good place to study, especially if you're a lawyer that wants to, dive deeply into legal technology. You probably want to talk about, or you probably want to move to Australia to study. Trust me, you're not even going to regret it. The fourth country I'll be mentioning to you today is actually the Netherlands. Now, according to a 2012 comparison of about 97 countries around the world, the Netherlands is actually one of the most democratic countries in the world. Now, obviously, democracy is the most fertile ground for the practice of law, like the practice of law and, the effectiveness of rule of law. Now, what that means is that Netherlands is obviously the best place, or one of the best places to, practice law in the world. Now, we should not also forget that the Netherlands is actually one of the founding members of the European Union, which has the aim of promoting democracy around the world, and the rule of law. Now, all of these points I'm making is that when you're practicing law in the Netherlands, it is way more effective, than practicing law in other parts of the world. Now, but then there is the problem of, cost of studying in this country. It's quite expensive to study in the Netherlands compared to a whole lot of countries. But of course, when it comes to effectiveness of the law, and effectiveness in the practice of the law, you want to mention Netherlands as one of the best in the world. And then when it also comes to job opportunities, and job opportunities and salary, the Netherlands is doing quite well as well. Lawyers in the Netherlands are paid, I think, about 128 euros per annum, so this is actually a whole lot, and it actually goes to show that the Netherlands is one of the best places anyone, can come and study, and practice law all over the world. The last but not the least on today's video is actually Sweden. Now, you see, this video wouldn't have been complete if I didn't mention Sweden, because Sweden has the most advanced education system in the world. Yes, they actually have the most advanced education system in the world according to statistics. Now, if you're thinking about, language being a barrier when studying in this country, then you're actually wrong, because majority of the people in Sweden actually speaks English. So if you can speak English, you're good to go, and then there is also free education. But wait, that does not apply to everybody. International students will have to pay about $1,500 per month. And that is actually a disadvantage because it is quite expensive, and this is excluding housing and other expenses that you will probably have to make. Another disadvantage is the fact that side jobs are not encouraged, because you're a lawyer, and aside that, it might just disrupt your studies as well. So no side jobs, and you are expected to pay $1,500 monthly. So that is actually a whole lot. But that aside, when it comes to job opportunity and salaries, Sweden is actually very good at that, on the average, because at entry level, lawyers are being paid about 30 to 40,000 Swedish krona per annum, and I think senior lawyers are paid about 70 to 100 Swedish krona. Now, another advantage is the fact that just like the United States, there are lots of materials available to students, online. So you probably not be spending so much, and aside that, just legal materials are also available to students from different parts of the world, for them to just, they're available online for students from different parts of the world to just, access, and study as well. Now, with all these points, I really feel like Sweden is actually a very good place. If you can afford it, it's a very good place for you to, study. And if you're looking for the best place to study around the world, Sweden is actually a very good option. Okay, so this is where I'm going to drop the mic on today's video. But before we go, if this video was educating and insightful to you, please make sure you like this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more interesting legal and educational videos like these. Thank you so much.